So if you want to start your own business and you're looking for ideas, this is the podcast for you. So what we do is we take experienced entrepreneurs like Jennifer Davis, and who has multiple employees, she's done millions in revenue, and she's going to share her next business idea. So the company she ran was Blueberry Hill.
In the past tense, I ran.
Everything's kind of a mess because of COVID, so we'll see.
Yeah, who
Supply
knows?
chains have been
Disrupted like a
ruptured.
mofo. Mm-hmm.
Let's say you were, okay, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios now.
Yeah,
okay?
go.
If you were a college student,
Yes.
what business would you start?
If I were a college student, like again, it's not going to be the most money-making, but I might be, because what's old is new again, and recycling and all that stuff. Like, people don't want to fill up the landfills.
Okay.
I would probably thrift stuff
Okay.
and resell it.
Macklemore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
What if
yes.
you had? Okay. Next
Pop
question.
tags. I would pop tags.
Okay, so you would thrift stuff. You'd go buy
I
stuff.
would. I would thrift
If-
stuff. I'd start a website, but I would curate it. Again, that's me feeling like I'm adding value by adding
So
like
and
a
that's if you
design
were
or
a student.
curation.
Now, would it change if you
To me,
had no money?
If I were a student and had very little money, then I could do that, right?
Okay.
And so, but it's also very time consuming because it's piece by piece,
Okay.
right? Like you can't systemize that. You can't systemize thrifting stuff and posting
Okay.
it, because you can't sell 50 items off of one listing. If you only have one that you've thrifted, you can only sell one, right? And yeah, you can make money from it, but you're going to make $20 off that item.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to systemize that. And to me, that's less efficient, and going forward, I wouldn't do it forever.
Okay.
But that's what I would do initially as a college student.
All right. What if I wrote you a check for $100,000? What business would you start?
That's a really good question. Again, when I was doing the Goldman Sachs thing, they said, okay, we're going to give you $5,000. What would you do with it? With your business. You have to spend on your business. We're going to give you $50,000. We're going to give you $500,000, right? But to me, I'm like, I'm going to go to Brazil and Morocco and, lay on the
Okay.
beach, right?
I'm not paying for you to go there. Let's say
I know.
I'm your
Again,
investor.
when it comes down
100,000.
to is you're putting this directly into your business. Then
A new
people-
business.
I would spend a lot of it on people.
But what idea? I give you 100,000 right now. If you were a student, you would do a thrift.
If I was a student, I'd do a thrift.
If you
but
got
that's
100K, what would you do?
as a student or as
Just like give you 100K. You have to start a new business
a
tomorrow.
brand new business tomorrow with
With
100K. Because you know what I feel like does really well right now, or like it's experiences. That's
Okay.
what sells, right? And part of that is workout gear, but there's 1,000 of them, right? But then it goes from Lululemon to everybody has their, like even the Gap has Athleta or different parts of it, right? Like everybody's got their spin-off, and then you've got
Okay.
Gymshark, and you're trying to be hip and cool and whatever. Have to think about it, but part of it would be absolutely give back. It would be kind of like even those little bracelets, I don't know what they're called, right? But part of it is transparency in supply chain.
Okay. But like
I'm trying
an
to think
idea.
of I know what you're saying. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a widget.
A widget?
The product is a widget. I don't
Okay.
care. The product the company and the brand has to give back, has to be transparently and ethically sourced.
But you would make either
I
like
would make a
bracelets.
product. That's who I am.
A product. What if I gave you $1 million? How would it change it?
I would spend every penny finding the most ethically and transparently sourced product, but it would also be so much about brand storytelling and marketing.
Okay.
I would spend a lot of money on employees that were telling a story and marketing and social media. I would spend, again, any amount of money I would have. It doesn't matter what the product is. It might be a pet rock. Remember pet rocks?
Yeah.
They're a rock. It doesn't matter.
It's not a rocket story.
It's this raw rock. It's a story. And that's what I'm saying. I don't care if it's a bracelet or athletic wear or whatever it is. But it's Starbucks, right?
Okay.
Like, you can sell a cup of coffee for $50, but they reinvented that whole
What
category.
business would you not do?
Coffee?
not do a coffee
Starbucks?
business?
No, because it's been done and done well, and it's already been reinvented.
Okay.
I wouldn't do bracelets because I think it's like, I want to say Costa Vida, but that's a pork
It's a
restaurant.
product, not a business. A
The
bracelet?
problem is none of those things are the product. That's what I'm saying to you. They're not the product. Starbucks is not coffee. Like, they took a cheap cup of coffee and made it an experience that you're going to pay a lot more for a cup of coffee. I would but someone else has already done that with like little bracelets. But what the part of it is they took what Tom's did, which is we give back, we ethically and whatever. You have to teach people what it is, right? Like, again, I've told you with baby hats, which we're both sick of.
I'm not sick of baby hats.
I'm sick of baby hats. You can buy a $5 hat that will keep your child's head warm. But you have to teach people that there's something that will make them look cool and cute on Instagram that they're going to pay $30 for. And but you want to. I feel like I'm adding value. That sounds really cheesy, and like
You're adding value. Keep them warm.
I'm not adding value in function. I'm telling you that it's form over function.
Right. Form.
And so, Starbucks is form over function.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a cup of coffee. Most people don't even like Starbucks coffee.
Let's do a deep dive. So the other day I was with Jen, and she was talking about an idea. We'll see if she'll be brave enough to share it right now. She's like, this is what I would do.
I doubt I remember.
I don't want another, I don't want a crappy idea.
Yeah.
The idea is, this is an idea that you guys can run with. And she said it. I'm like, that's a good idea.
Tell me, because I don't remember.
The knitting pattern idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is an idea.
Like, this
and
is
you
an
can
idea
run
that
with it
I'd
or
be
go
like,
with it.
okay, like if she'd be like, let's do this, I'd be like, okay, let's
And
throw
he's like,
in.
and I've thought about it. This has been like 4 years in my inbox, and I've been thinking about doing it, and I haven't done it.
All right, so what's the elevator pitch?
It's basically, people want to create and they want the experience. So basically, yeah, you can buy a baby hat, right? But you go on Etsy and people want to make it themselves. And guess what? It's going to cost them $30 at least in time and supplies to do it. But people on Etsy will buy patterns because they want the experience of making it themselves and hand making something and giving it to as a gift. And they want to say, this is for me, and I made it, and I spent the time and effort and love and whatever. That's more important than I spent
So are
X
you
dollar
selling
amount.
patterns or kits?
It would be a pattern for me
So
because
baby hat patterns.
there are kits available, but to me, I would sell patterns of my own designs because I constantly get asked for my patterns,
Okay.
and I don't have them.
Where are you getting asked?
Etsy,
On
a
Etsy?
lot of times Etsy, even Shopify.
So you're saying the pain point is people see stuff that you've made and they want the pattern so they can make that themselves.
Yes, and I don't have a problem with that. I sell to a lot of stores that even say, we have a local knitter that works for us, and sells stuff to us. And I don't want to put them out of business. I think that's fantastic and wonderful. It's more expensive for them to buy from the local knitter because, their hourly wage living in the US is higher than what I sell, and their supplies are higher, whatever else. But I'm all about it. So to me, making people be able to make a product that makes them happy for less or for similar, and they also get the joy of creation is wonderful, right? So my goal, I've looked into Etsy, and some of the highest selling shops, like basically most of the shops that make the most money on Etsy are people selling supplies. So it's not people selling finished goods, it's people that want to be crafty and want to be creative and want to make things themselves. So one of them that I've seen that makes the most money is a company that sells knitting patterns. They're not selling the yarn or the needles, they sell a pattern. And I've had so many requests for patterns for my products, and I honestly don't have the patterns. I come up with mine because I'm not a knitter, but I hodgepodge together drawings and knitting styles, whether it's knit or purl or whatever else. Like, I know some terminology, but I don't write the patterns. So what I would do, or I would recommend other people to do, is write the pattern, because once you write it once, it is a stream of income.
You can sell it 1 trillion times.
And you don't have a product that you have to ship. You don't have shipping costs. You don't have whatever. But on Etsy and on Shopify, there are things that you can do that are like, it's just downloadable. It's like music sales, right? Like, you just download something and you don't touch it.
And you would sell patterns. Why not create like a pattern site or both?
I think there are some.
Okay. Who are the competitors in the space that you're aware of?
I have no idea.
Just
I don't.
other
Again,
shops?
I'm not. I haven't looked into it that much. I haven't taken it that seriously. Like, I think it would be.
Okay.
It would be, just an add-on to what I'm currently doing. It makes sense.
Okay.
But it's going to take some time for me to find someone to write the patterns, and it would be worth it. Because
how would you differentiate yourself, or would it matter?
I don't think it would matter. Like, my product styles are different. Product styles are different from what's currently being sold. Like, and that's what I find with my business. Like, I think that the value of that, like I've said, they're more expensive than something you can buy cheap to keep warm. It's form over function, and I think that, the thing that I feel like I'm adding, or I hope that I'm adding, is the design. Okay. And with the knitting, and the reason people, like, there are plenty of bunny hats available, like bunny hat patterns all over Etsy or all over. There's another site, I can't remember what it's called right now, but that has a lot of patterns for sale. Ravelry. Ravelry, right? And I put it on those too. But the thing is, there's nothing quite like mine, and that's what I like to do, is I like to come up with something that I think is better, or is cuter or better. So if I came up with these knitting patterns and could sell them on there and there, it would be another stream of income. And I don't think that it would infringe at all on my sales, because I think that the people that are making something aren't buying the finished product.
Okay. What would be the challenges in starting this business?
Finding someone to write the knitting patterns, just following through on it, and then like uploading them.
How would you find someone to?
That's great. I have a contact, like I said, that's been in my inbox for like 4 years.
Okay.
But it's that, or I don't know. That's a good question. How would I find someone? Maybe.
Probably just go to knitting stores and ask for someone local.
Yeah, I think that would be really good.
Pair them up with maybe a designer. That's what I would do. What would be I don't see that as a big challenge. From a barrier to entry.
It's not a huge challenge. It's zero barrier to entry, and there's zero startup costs on that. Zero.
Okay.
Right? Like, except for paying someone to write a pattern. Like, I might pay somebody a couple $100 to write a pattern, but then I sell it for $5 and sell it 10,000 times. And
what would be the key factor getting people to buy from you on a regular basis?
branding,
Okay.
good images.
Okay.
With product-based stuff, or even with
How do you
subscription
sell
stuff,
good
it's
images for patterns? Because you'd have to make the actual item, and then you say,
Yeah,
here's the
but I
pattern.
have the actual item. So with what I'm doing, I would hire people to write the patterns for my products.
Okay.
And so I would use the finished product photos, which I have a lot of, and I spend time and money on that. I spend time and money finding models and photographers and sets and, styling for that. And I would have that all ready. So I would use it to sell that product, which wouldn't cost me any more money except for maybe paying someone, a one-time fee for something that I could sell in perpetuity.
How would you prevent, competitors from stealing your designs?
That's one reason that stopped me a little bit. I'm not super worried about it, but basically once I sell the patterns, anyone could sell my styles and designs and I couldn't claim copyright or trademark infringement.
Okay.
So that's one thing that kind of stops me. But I create new stuff all the time. I feel like you got to be the leader, not the follower, and I don't feel like any of my designs are super patentable. And again, it's every 6 months I'm coming up with new stuff. So
Okay.
once I did that, though, once I sold my designs, anyone could sell my exact product from the Blueberry Hill, and I would have no legal repercussions.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a downside.
Okay. And how would you price it?
With the market, I would go on Etsy or wherever else, Ravelry, and see
What's your guess?
$5,
$5 a pattern?
$7. Yeah.
Okay.
Or like I see people doing bundles, like 4 for $20, or
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like that. But it's just you do the research and you find out what's in line with the market.
Got it. So just do something similar to it. How price sensitive is the market? Like, let's say a pattern is $5. Could you sell for $10?
I wouldn't. I
Okay.
might 7.
Okay.
I might do 7 because, again, with my product, I like to feel like it's not just your average thing. I like to feel like it's a little
Okay.
bit special. It's a little bit
How would you
different.
make your first sales outside of friends and family members?
I definitely wouldn't sell anything to friends and family members. I don't know a single knitter in my
Your
whole life.
boys might knit.
I only dream. But no, I would just put them on. I would start with Etsy and Ravelry. I think those are, because again, you find the platforms
So
that
how
sell
would they
what
find you
that
on
sell to
Etsy
your
and
market.
Ravelry?
Search.
Okay. So
Those are built in. You have built-in audience on Etsy and Ravelry
okay.
for
So you're
knitters.
just saying if I put something on Etsy that's decent, people will buy it.
Yes, you might have to do some, I guess you could do, boosted posts or boosted ad. I mean, there's some ad stuff you can do,
Okay.
but a big part of it is having really good images. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If it's bracelets, if it's rocks, you
Okay.
have really good images and you have consistent branding, and
Okay.
it makes your stuff more desirable. But I would also, I've got an email list from my hats, and I would send out a blast saying, hey, now we're selling patterns. But that's, not everybody starting out could do that, but that's,
Okay.
yeah, friends and family is a start, but it doesn't get you very far.
How would you generate your first 10,000? So you get first sales. Is it just the same process of listing on Etsy, better images, better artwork?
Yes.
and
Again, I mean, you can run marketing, you can run ads on Etsy for sure. I don't know about Ravelry, but I think you can definitely run ads on Etsy. So that's how you start, and then you get good feedback. If anybody has a problem with it, you refund them. Like, it's good customer service. So you're making sure you're getting feedback, and you're saying, maybe with every pattern you say, hey, if you give me feedback, if you give me great feedback, I'll give you a coupon off your next purchase. If you have a problem with it and don't want to give me feedback, let me know why. And you refund them if it's bad. And the first however many hundred sales are beta. They're testing it, and they're doing you a favor by telling you what's wrong with it. Every person who tells me my sizing is off, or my this is off, or my this is off, they are making me money. And I say, thank you for that. Let me give it to you for free and send you something else.
Okay, how would generating your first 100,000 in sales be different from generating your second 100,000 in sales?
Your second 100,000 is a lot easier. Just like any social media, your first 100 followers
Does
is
it
the
change at all?
hardest. With this, again, it wouldn't be something that you have to put a lot of effort into. And to me, it's not like I don't have an investment. I don't have skin in the game, right? Like, I have very little skin in the game. So yeah, I'd throw some ad dollars at it, but I'm not too concerned because there's not a barrier to entry. I might have to pay someone a little bit to write the pattern, but I'm not gonna mortgage my house for it.
Okay. What would the founding team look like? Is something that you're doing
A pattern writer?
Okay.
someone that manages the listings,
Okay.
uploads the listings, and manages the customer service.
Okay.
And that's really about it.
Okay.
That's again a stream of income that you don't have to ship anything, you don't have to do anything. So that's ideal. It's kind of like what you look into and say, this is software as a service.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's one and done, like they're going to pay for it once. I do the work once and then I get paid multiple times, right?
Okay. Who would be on your dream team? Is there anyone that you know?
No, I don't know
Okay.
very many cool people. No, I think that they would be, you're always looking for people that fit with you and that have a good work ethic and
Okay.
that just have good chemistry with you. Yeah.
Okay.
And to me, if you meet somebody like that, like I could work with them in any business, right? And even if I'm technically the owner or whatever, like I feel like if you have a team, you want to incentivize them through, sales or payment on the back end or percentage in the company or something like that.
Got it.
And that doesn't happen, from day one, but once they're there and like
From day two, it happens.
From day 3, usually I like to go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for this idea. What would be the best advice you would give to someone who wants to start this idea?
This idea?
Yeah.
Do it. Like, don't think about it. Like I said, I've had it in my inbox for 4 years, and I think it's great. But like, what would it take? It would take emailing some people or going to some local news. Like, it might take 20 hours, 30 hours of work. That's not very much,
I really like this idea. It's one of the best ones
But
I've
I
heard lately.
always have something better to do, So it's just
Okay.
carving out the time.
She makes too much money at her other business, guys. It's a good person to get an idea from.
Hardly. But again, it's something that absolutely, co-brands with mine and goes along with it. And it's a good extension, but I just haven't taken the time.
And you've never started this because you're just successful. You're too successful in other places.
Okay, you're putting words in everyone's mouth, but no, because you just get caught up and you
Okay.
don't need it. And yeah, that part sounds successful, but it's like you don't necessarily
Okay.
need it. But it's you get into something, you get into a niche and you need growth opportunities, right? And whether, like so I'll sit and write down my growth opportunities and it's like, oh, go sell to China, sell to Japan, sell a whole new line of apparel. And this one, I just haven't, it's overlooked.
She's not doing it, so you guys should do it. Anyways,
You should do it.
Thanks for watching the Business Ideas Podcast. Just make sure you subscribe for more great business ideas.
Smash that button.